ABC News. This is ABC.
Topping Eyewitness News at 5:30, the Vikings know where they're going to play for the title. Also coming up at 5:30, St. Paul's police chief promises more arrests as an investigation into prostitution continues. A controversy brews on the ice-covered lakes of northern Minnesota over a ban on spearfishing. And if you checked under your hood lately, we'll show you a body shop that's advising people how to get rid of their spare tire.
And we can all look forward to a milder week ahead, along with a little snow in the forecast. I'll have the tale.
Those stories all next on Eyewitness News at 5:30.
Today, a refresher course in sore throat. There's the one from smoking, the dry, tickly kind, the burning sore throat. Fortunately, there's great-tasting Luden's cough drops. Luden's help replace pain with pleasure. They quickly dissolve to coat irritated, inflamed tissue with soothing, cooling relief. So, for minor sore throat problems, get major relief from Luden's.
Oh,
Back already?
oh, hi. We came to pick up our new glasses.
Now, that's glasses fast, glasses right. Susan had an eye exam earlier, then picked out frames.
And you know, there's thousands of them.
Then we went shopping.
It was just an hour ago.
Took her longer to pick out a sweater than it did for the eyeworks to make her glasses.
Oh, my.
Oh, Susan.
They can make glasses in an hour. Just saves time for other things.
Saves us money, too.
I wasn't there that long.
Major HMO and PHP members can get 15% off regular priced eyewear at the Eyeworks.
Quality brand names. Why does Highland carry so many? Well, because they tend to last and last and last. Right now, this RCA 13-inch remote color TV with on-screen display is just $217. Brand names at Highland. Nobody gives you more, and nobody, but nobody, sells for less.
You're watching KSTP-TV, Minnesota's News Channel 5.
Live from Minnesota's News Channel, KSTP Channel 5. Mike Binkley, Karen Falloon, and Mark Stevens bring you Eyewitness News.
What a sound to come home to. Some 1,000 fans at the airport gave the Minnesota Vikings a loud pat on the back last night for their surprise win over San Francisco. Today, fans kept close watch on two teams fighting out in Chicago. The winner faces the Vikings next weekend. Good afternoon, everyone. 2 down and 1 to go to the Super Bowl as the Vikings try to make another dream come true for Minnesota. And now the match is set for next Sunday. Mark Stevens joins us early with that news.
Yeah, let's not talk about the Super Bowl just yet, but keep it in the back of your mind. Next stop will be the nation's capital, and there's nothing secret about what the Vikings have to do in D.C. They'll get the Washington Redskins in the NFC Championship game next Sunday. The Skins...
Twice, and they had an excuse saying Doug Flutie was too short, so now McMahon's too tall. That's the excuse they're going to have.
I tell you what, our fans, our weather... everything is in our favor right now. But I tell you what, those Minnesota Vikings are very, very good. We've beaten them the last 4 times we met them, but that can kind of, go in their favor because they want us really bad. And we don't plan on losing in RFK.
I bet the Vikings don't plan on losing at RFK either. It's a rematch of this year's regular season finale, only this time they play in Washington. The last 2 times the Vikes and Skins have played, it went into overtime. Washington won both of those games, but remember, neither of those games was for a trip to the Super Bowl. All that stuff, all the times they've played before, throw it out the window. These are 2 different football teams going at it.
This one means a lot more. Tell you what, the way I see it, Vikings fans have kind of been like that old Buick that's been sitting out in the Minnesota cold for a while, slow to come to life. But these 2 convincing wins in the playoffs have gotten that bandwagon revved up, and a lot of people are climbing on. Around the cities this afternoon, we found a lot of people who've been won over by this latest success.
Yeah, I'm definitely a believer.
Were you before?
I was a little skeptic before.
I've seen people that were down all year that are now totally 100% behind the Vikings, and the Twins had a lot to do with that.
That's right. It seems now we can believe that a Minnesota team can pull something like this off. People were watching the Bears-Redskins game today with every confidence now that the Vikings could beat either one of them.
Vikings all the way, just like the Twins, all the way. We're going to put Minnesota on the map.
I think the Vikings are going to pull it off again. They're really on a nice roll.
Vikings are going all the way this year. No doubt about it.
Why, even some of the Bears fans here in St. Paul were ready to be converted.
I have to say that I'm a Bears fan today, but next week, it's going to have to be the Vikings.
Oh, if the Bears lose, I will have my Homer hanky out.
Well, you can start waving it right now because the Bears lost and the Vikes are off to Washington. We'll have much more later on in sports. Also in the news tonight, an ongoing investigation into prostitution in St. Paul has snared a prominent bar owner. As we told you last night, Oz Nightclub owner Earl Montpettit was arrested on prostitution charges. And Carolyn Brookter reports that the police chief now says more arrests will follow.
According to the St. Paul police, the owner of the Oz Nightclub, Earl Montpettit, was arrested for promoting prostitution. Police reports allege that Montpettit met an undercover police officer and another woman at the Oz and introduced the woman to a friend. The report also alleges that Montpettit offered a police decoy $50 to perform a sexual act. According to police, Montpettit eventually ended up here at this Maplewood motel where he was later arrested. Montpettit was one of several businessmen mentioned last year during a police probe into teen prostitution. He was never arrested, though. This time he was, even though St. Paul Police Chief Bill McCutcheon says Montpettit was not the target.
Our target for this weekend was not the person that we arrested. It just, the circumstances came together and the arrest was an appropriate one to make, and so it was made.
McCutcheon would not say who the targets are, but says the arrest came as part of a week-long operation focusing on prostitution in downtown bars.
We're finding that the street prostitution and the call service prostitution and the bar prostitution are interrelated. So that wherever we attack that problem, we have an impact on the other aspect.
McCutcheon does see the arrest as a vindication for his department that was criticized for stalling the investigation.
It vindicates the department from the allegation that he was not previously involved because of cover-up.
McCutcheon says the investigation is continuing and that he expects other arrests will follow. Carolyn Brookter, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
A Wisconsin man was also arrested in this case. Should Ramsey County Judge Alberto Miera be suspended? That's the decision Minnesota Supreme Court justices will have to make when they meet tomorrow. This past week, 3 judges recommended to the State Board on Judicial Standards that Miera be removed from the bench for making sexual advances to his male court reporter. Now it's up to the court to decide whether Miera should be suspended while the Judicial Board considers that report. Tomorrow, illegal aliens in 3 Midwest states can take advantage of Legalization Day. Officials in Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota are giving illegal aliens an opportunity to seek legal status under a national amnesty program. And illegal aliens who have lived in the United States continuously since 1982 are eligible. A toll-free number will be set up between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. tomorrow to provide confidential information to anyone who'd like to apply. With the weather a little bit warmer today, there seemed to be a little more activity outdoors. We spotted a number of ice skaters trying to have some fun, even though the wind chill factor was below 0. Nonetheless, they seem to be having a good time. The bright sunshine also seemed to draw the walkers and joggers out in bigger numbers. Well, maybe we can hope for a little less of that bitter cold wind tomorrow. Karen?
That's true, Mike. Things are going to start warming up, but as we have those warmer temperatures, we're also going to have cloudy skies, a little bit of snow in the forecast. Best chance will be over central and southern Minnesota. I'll have more on that. Mike?
All right, and when we come back, we'll take you up to northern Minnesota, where spearfishing enthusiasts are caught up in a fight between themselves and the state. And a race in Paul Bunyan's name sends the snow flying in Bemidji.
At LensCrafters, skilled laboratory technicians using the latest equipment mean we can custom grind your exact prescription in about 1 hour. Listen.
They put new lenses in my old frames in about 55 minutes.
They were able to make a tool that's required to make my glasses.
I got my glasses in 47 minutes.
Very professional people.
LensCrafters, quality eyeglasses in about an hour.
Burnsville Center, Southdale Center, Loman's Plaza, and now in Crystal Shopping Center, next to Target.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be fun.
Wintertime savings at Mills Fleet Farm will send your January blues on the run. Protect your car with new gas caps antifreeze caplets. Gas caps prevent gas line freeze-up and help cold weather starts, and they're safer and easier to use than liquid treatments. Now only $1.49.
Or give yourself the security of the Woods Remote Control Transmitter Receiver Kit. It lets you turn on lights or appliances from up to 50 feet away. Comes complete with battery for just $13.99.
So don't be snowed. You'll find the best bargains around.
Now during wintertime savings at Mills Fleet Farm.
This Winter Games memory is brought to you by the Fina Oil Company.
Ski jumper Gene Kutlarek of Duluth soared to Olympic prominence in the 1960s. But seconds before takeoff in Squaw Valley, he knew something wasn't right.
I had fractured a binding, and it hadn't quite come loose. And when I hit the ground, it literally exploded. I had to kick the ski away so that I wouldn't get hit by it, and I fell.
4 years later, Kutlarek would get another chance in Innsbruck.
The Twin Cities have a new friend. A friend that brings much-needed help to the hardest working member of your family, your car. The friend is Fina, where you'll find the kind of quality gasoline and automotive products that your hard-working car needs. So now that you've found a new friend for your car, all you have to do is find your car.
At Fina, you've got a friend. An icy lake in northern Minnesota has become a symbolic battleground among the state's anglers. As John Wingate reports, those who love to fish are fighting over one method of catching the big ones.
I just love watching the fish. They're beautiful when they come in.
Gary Ellis is among the 20,000 or so Minnesotans who love to spearfish. But this was the last weekend they'll be able to pursue their sport on Cass Lake in northern Minnesota. The state DNR has imposed a 10-year ban on spearfishing here in an effort to replenish the muskie population. It was a move aggressively sought by the state's sports fishing groups.
The muskie fishing has declined over the past, I believe it's about 15 years. They feel that spearing does have some impact on it, yeah.
There's a $1,000 fine for spearing a muskie, and some say that in itself is reason enough to leave the big fish alone.
We don't take everything that comes through the hole. You know, we take a nice fish now and then, but it's just a fun sport, you know.
You don't think you're responsible for cutting down on the muskie population?
No, no way.
The DNR says the spearfishing ban will help bolster Cass Lake's reputation as a prime muskie location and help the summertime fishing economy. But local business owners like Leroy Ellis say the ban will hurt in the wintertime when any bit of fishing business is sorely appreciated.
The economy. It's going to kill us is what it's going to do.
Spear fishermen plan to continue their fight, even as the state considers banning spearfishing on other lakes. Two groups of fishing enthusiasts, both trying to preserve their sport, but so far their lines of communication continue to be snagged. John Wingate, Channel 5 Eyewitness News on Cass Lake.
Currently, about 36 lakes are covered by a ban on spearfishing. Also up north, the Paul Bunyan sled dog race is underway. More than 2,000 dogs are running. There are categories for 3 dog, 6 dog, 8 dog, and marathon classes. The 200 participants are racing up to 14 miles near Bemidji. Sled dog racing is an ancient Yukon sport. The Indians relied on the sleds for transportation. There are about 3,000 sled dog racers, or mushers as they're called, in North America. Well, stalled by the bitter cold weather we've been having, the snow machines have been turned back on Harriet Island. They'll be going nonstop until a 50-foot high volcano is made for the Winter Carnival. During a warm spell in December, the machines were also turned off because a lot of the snow was melting. A word to the wise, the cold can be downright dangerous if you're not properly clothed, but if you start to shiver, you may actually be doing yourself a favor, according to Canadian researchers. They say shivering is really the best way to get your blood flowing and warm up. They say it's even better than using exercise or hot water bottles. So shiver away. It's healthy. While the temperatures rose, the winds kept many Twin Cityans shivering today. Karen joins us next with the forecast. Minnesotans prepare to march again for Martin Luther King, that in Sunday's People. And it was time for a tune-up today for some St. Louis Park residents. Those stories when we come back.
On my right is an Ultronic designer telephone. On my left, Time magazine.
The Alltronic Designer telephone will impress your friends and clients and brighten any room in your home or office. So will Time magazine. The Designer telephone is free when you subscribe to Time. The free Designer phone comes in 4 exciting colors: a rich red, a great gray, a beautiful blue, and a wonderful white. Time magazine comes in exciting full color, so you get a true picture of all the news every week. The Alltronic telephone features exceptional communications technology. So does Time magazine. With correspondence all over the world and the immediacy of satellite communications, Time gives you the story when you want it. They put it all right in your hands, so you can turn to Time anytime to get a clear, concise perspective that only Time can give you. And only Time gives you this free Alltronic Designer telephone with great features like memory redial of the last number called and a mute button to keep your conversations private. With Time magazine, you get in on all the conversations, so you're always on the inside. The Designer telephone has full-size push buttons for that perfect touch. Time touches you, bringing people closer so you can feel what they feel and share their emotions and celebrations. So, call this toll-free number now and get your Alltronic Designer telephone free with your paid subscription to Time at a savings of over 40% off the cover price. You get 26 issues of Time, payable in 3 monthly installments of only $9.89 each. With your Designer telephone, you save on monthly phone rental charges. With Time magazine, you get convenient home delivery. Call now, and soon you can be making calls on your very own Designer phone. It's free from Time. Call 1-800-621-6200 and get your free phone and save on Time. Pick a color. It's free.
The death of a research scientist leads our look at Sunday's People. Funeral services will be held Tuesday for Nora Larson, who died Friday after a long illness. Larson taught at the University of Minnesota in Austin and at St. Olaf, and she was a biologist for the Mayo Foundation. Nora Larson was 86. 10 years ago this week, thousands of Minnesotans turned out in the cold to pay their final respects to Senator Hubert Humphrey. The Happy Warrior, as he was called, a veteran leader of the DFL, died January 13th of 78. Tomorrow, Governor Perpich plans to declare this week Martin Luther King Jr. holiday week in Minnesota. The late civil rights leader will be honored in a number of events. The week will end with a rally and march, which will be symbolic of King's civil rights marches in the 1960s. By then, maybe we'll have some warmer temperatures here in the cities.
Right. Toward the end of the week, we won't have a major storm system to worry about that would put a damper on things, and it'll be warmer. We are looking forward to warmer temperatures. Now, the lows this morning, once again, in the teens below zero over Minnesota and Wisconsin. And actually, our low temperature occurred much before midnight, and the temperatures started to rise dramatically after midnight because the southerly winds increased. Now, the temperatures were below zero all the way through the Great Lakes region, and this cold air continues moving to the east along with that Arctic high pressure that was sitting over the upper Midwest for the last couple of days. Again, our low temperature officially was 12 degrees below zero, occurring just before midnight. Our high this afternoon got to 14 degrees, but the wind chills all afternoon long in the 20s below zero because of those gusty winds. No precipitation right now. Partly cloudy skies out there. Temperature of 12 degrees, the dew point 5, the relative humidity is 73%. Winds are out of the south at 18 miles an hour, so the wind chill's about 19 below. And the pressure falling rapidly. Now, that high pressure that was over the upper Midwest has been sliding to the southeast. Winds have been increasing on the backside of it. And there's a storm system developing over the northern Rockies. There's been as much as a foot of snow in portions of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, into Montana. That snow is spreading through Wyoming and Colorado. In fact, in Colorado, there are high wind warnings out on the Colorado Front Range from the Wyoming border to Colorado Springs, where wind gusts later on tonight could be 80 to 85 miles an hour. This storm system will intensify. We have a front just to the north of us. This front is going to be sagging southward. Now, out ahead of all of this, we have an increase in the moisture. That moisture started increasing today. Satellite pictures showing some cloudiness coming with that storm system and the front that's dropping to the south. Also, there's moisture making its way from the south through the mid-Mississippi Valley, and it's converging here in the upper Midwest. So by tomorrow, that front will have dropped to the south, become stationary over southern Minnesota. Then that low pressure out over the Rockies will follow right along that front, and that will produce the snow over central and southern Minnesota, and it will eventually spread on into Wisconsin, feeding from the moisture in the Gulf of Mexico, and the storm system is expected to intensify just a little bit. So for tonight, we're looking at clouds increasing. It's already increasing out there now. A little bit of light snow or flurry activity late tonight. We're staying above zero tonight. Our overnight low should be somewhere around 10 degrees. Waking up, we'll have mostly cloudy skies. The winds will have dropped off considerably. The temperature will be around 15 degrees. And then during the day on Monday, we have mostly cloudy skies, snow developing in the afternoon. Our highs will range from 22 to 27 degrees. We have a good chance of snow on Monday night, and that's when we should see some accumulation possible. Our overnight lows will be 11 to 16, and then clouds decreasing again on Tuesday with slightly cooler temperatures, 13 to 18 degrees. The rest of the week right now looks sunny to partly cloudy. Overnight lows will be just below zero there on Wednesday and Thursday morning, but still during the day warming into the teens. And then on Friday looks like a banner day, above zero at night and in the 20s during the day with plenty of sunshine. So if I had to pick a day to do something this week, it would be Friday.
Great. We've had plenty of sunshine this whole past week, I guess.
Yes.
It's been nice to sit inside and look out at it. It looks so nice outside.
It's kind of nice, yeah.
All right, Karen. Still ahead in sports, more on the matchup for the NFC Championship. Today's game also marked the end of a fabulous career for maybe the NFL's best running back ever.
Some things are worth waiting for, like the car that in almost no time at all has become the best-selling import around. Well, you've waited long enough. The Hyundai Excel is here, and you're invited to our grand opening Excelebration with 7 Excel models priced under $7,000 and starting at just $52.95. Come in and test drive the Hyundai Excel, the car that makes sense.
The new Harold Hyundai, now open next to Harold Chevrolet in Bloomington.
The wildest action-packed rodeo you'll ever see celebrates 10 spectacular years when the world's toughest rodeo returns to Met Center January 22nd through the 24th. On Friday, a special concert by Sweethearts of the Rodeo. On Saturday, Earl Thomas Conley. Sunday, all kids get free Pepsi cowboy hats. Auto Parts Pro Stores is offering a special discount for opening night. Save $2 with a store coupon while supplies last. Get tickets at Met Center and Dayton's. It just might be the best rodeo you'll ever see.
When you get a cold or an allergy,
you need some herbal tea.
You also get a lot of advice.
What you want to do is feed a cold.
A lot of advice.
Take Judy to call me in the morning.
But the best advice is what doctors have said millions of times. Take Dimetap. Dimetap in non-prescription formulas brings proven relief. So take the advice of doctors and pharmacists.
The tea works. Huh?
And take Dimetap, the best advice you can take.
Ember's $1.99 jumbo breakfast. 2 farm fresh eggs, 2 buttermilk pancakes, 2 country sausage links, and 2 strips of hardwood cured bacon, only $1.99. Ember's, big taste, small check.
The field in the NFL is now down to its final 4, and the Vikings are among them.
Well, final 4.5. The AFC game's not totally over, but I got a pretty good idea who's going to win. Our concentration's on the NFC, where that traveling band of purple heartbreaker now moves the show on to Washington, D.C. That's the Vikings' next stop in the playoffs, and if their visit is anything like their trips to New Orleans and San Francisco, it could be a date in Super Bowl number 22. The Redskins earned the right to host the NFC title game today. Football in the NFL, and he was heartbroken at the end. The NFL's all-time leading rusher didn't leave the way he wanted to, with the visitors leaving his town with a chance to win the title. So the 2 teams that finished the regular season will go at it again, with one finishing their postseason, the other getting a trip to Super Bowl 22 in San Diego. That's in 3 weeks, and by the way, you can see it here on Channel 5. So what do the Vikings think about getting the Redskins? Yesterday, they all said they had no preference, but now they know who.
Well, you know, my congratulations to Joe Gibbs and his team on the great comeback against the Bears. And we look forward to playing them. We played them a couple of 3 weeks ago, and they beat us in overtime, so we welcome the chance to play them again.
And they're to be commended, too. They played well, and they've got a good team, and they're experienced. They got good coaching. They're just solid all around, and everybody's, you know, all 4 teams that are going to be left are going to be good teams. There's no easy way out. The team that plays inspired football is going to get to play another week. That's what it boils down to.
Tim Irwin's always good at simplifying things. Now, the final matchup for the AFC Championship also being decided today. Denver and Houston trying to fill that final spot. And this one's all but over. I guess we could say Binkley was right. It's the fourth quarter. Denver has a big lead. They have dominated this game from start to finish, 27-3. The winner will play the Cleveland Browns. Those Broncos will host that AFC Championship game next Sunday. The times of the games will be announced later, but odds are it'll probably be the Vikings in the early game and then the Denver-Cleveland game. Well, a second-place finish in the National U.S. Figure Skating Championships might seem a little disappointing to Minnetonka's Jill Trenery, but not when you consider what it did for her. It locked up a spot on the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. Jill finished second to 1986 champion Debbie Thomas. Thomas skated flawlessly in regaining her title. Trenery won last year. Trenery, Thomas, and Karen Kadavy will represent the U.S. in the 88 Olympics in Calgary next month for the senior ladies. Although Jill wasn't first, she's still happy with the outcome.
Of course, I'd be happier if I would have won. But you know, like I said, it wasn't like it was this close. I had to beat Debbie by 1 in the freestyle, and that was going to be tough. So, you know, I did really well. I made one mistake, but hey, I'll try to be perfect. Not perfect, but close to perfect in Calgary.
Okay, the North Stars had a devil of a time at home last night against New Jersey. The Stars lost for the 7th time in their last 9 games. 4-3 was the final last night. Now, they got on the scoreboard first. Frantisek Musso will drive one past Bob Sauvé. Stars on top 1-0. The Devils came right back. Kirk Mueller, the first of 2 goals on the night. Devils had the next 4. That was all they needed. They win at 4-3. Stars will be home Monday night against the Kings. Meanwhile, the Gopher hockey team completed a 2-game sweep of defending national champ North Dakota. Scotty Bloom, the first goal of the game here. Didn't end there. 7 different Gophers scored goals. Brett Strout gets the feed from Peter Hankinson. For number 6, Gophers are now 20-4. They're ranked number 1 this season. Final last night was 7-3. Now the Gopher basketball team must regroup after losing 103-71 at Michigan last night. Glenn Rice had 40 for the Wolverines. Willie Burton 18 for the Gophers. And a big surprise in Lexington last night. This 3-point shot by John Kaler gave Auburn a 1-point lead against top-ranked Kentucky. Rex Chapman's shot was off the mark. That's an upset. Auburn defeats top-ranked Kentucky 52-51.
That was a shocker.
And again, if you missed it, you're in a hole someplace. Vikings and Redskins next Sunday.
All right. In the 1970s, the Presidential Council on Fitness encouraged us all to run, jump, sit up, pull up, and throw a softball for our health. But at the Jewish Community Center today, you could pull into the JCC Body Shop to help fix your spare tire. Everyone was learning better ways to improve family fitness. The fun included lessons on exercise, ways to prepare food, and ways to improve personal hygiene. Can wood-burning stoves be hazardous to your health? Tonight on this Sunday's Vital Signs, Dr. Michael Breen tells us how the byproduct...